of External Affairs, Government of India. Let me start with Joint Secretary Vani Rao. She's been a career diplomat with the Indian Foreign Service since 1994. She's had various stints across the world, in Mexico, in different parts of Europe. She was in the West Europe division at headquarters here in Delhi. Thereafter, she was in Sweden. A large posting before coming to Delhi was as the Deputy Chief of Mission at the Embassy of India in Israel. Thereafter, she has now taken over as the Joint Secretary, Overseas Indian Affairs in MEA. Ms. Rao, thank you for joining us today. We are privileged to have you here. Along with Ms. Rao, we have Mr. Nagaraj Naidu, again a very senior diplomat from the Indian Foreign Service. Mr. Naidu has spent most of his career in China across several missions. He was also the Consul General of the Indian Consulate in Guangzhou. He currently heads the Investment and Technology Promotion and Energy Security Division at the Ministry of External Affairs. He has an excellent overview of the Indian economy in the global context. Thank you, Mr. Naidu, for being here with us today. We look forward to hearing from you subsequently. May I now request Ms. Vani Rao to address us, please.
Good morning, everyone. Good evening. I'm very pleased to join you here today to speak about India Heritage Program. I am spearheading efforts for engagement with the diaspora in the Ministry of External Affairs. The Ministry considers the overseas Indians as a very important constituency. We have more than 25 million overseas Indians all over the world, including non-resident Indians and persons of Indian origin. We are very proud of the achievements of the Indian community wherever they are. They've done extremely well in various fields. They've also made a significant contribution to the economies globally, and we are very happy to see that they are now looking at the Indian market and economy with interest. We see the non-resident Indians and persons of Indian origin as a very important asset, and we would like to bring this program to you, especially to help you engage with the Indian economy. You would have seen the government and the senior leadership, particularly the Prime Minister, spearheading our efforts to connect with the diaspora globally. And we're equally happy to see that you have also shown a warmth and interest in looking at India and in engaging with India. The government, as you can see, has developed an inclusive agenda both for economic development and especially for connecting with the Indian diaspora globally. With this purpose, the Overseas Indian Facilitation Center was set up by the government. It's a public-private partnership with the Confederation of Indian Industry. And OIFC is primarily looking at enabling economic and knowledge engagement with the overseas Indian community. In the last year, the OIFC has embarked on a new mission. They are seeking proactive and sustained engagement with the Indian diaspora, and they have launched new initiatives in this regard. This is, in this context, the India Fellows Program is an initiative that we have launched this summer, especially for the Indian community. This is about entering the market. Traditionally, the Indian community has been focusing on the import-export aspect of the business. But now they realize that the opportunities are immense. You can engage through manufacturing in India, R&D activities, technology transfer, outsourcing operations to India, and so many other options. So the community is aware of the business potential and opportunities, but they hesitate. They do not know what to do and where to begin. This is where the IFP comes in. We are also looking at overseas Indians who lack specific information and knowledge about the regulatory structures, approvals to be obtained for starting business in India, and the various procedural issues. The program would also help you identify potential areas and business sectors in India. Overseas Indians also face the challenge of choosing the right location for their business. India being a country with 29 states, it's often a difficult decision to see where you want to locate your business in India. The other challenge that an investor or business owner faces is what kind of business entity to open in India, or how to choose your local partners. We need a business partner in India, but you're not aware whether you're choosing the right one. Market research is also an extremely important aspect for those looking at the Indian economy. But again, this is a challenge because you do not know how to do this, or which agency or which consultant to choose for the market research. IFP, the Indian Fellows Program, addresses all these issues and challenges. It's a unique program that has been crafted specially for the overseas Indian community, and it is focused on the challenges that one faces while entering the Indian market. We are going to use technology and social media platforms to engage with in a year-long program, the highlight of which is a 10-day residency in the Indian School of Business in India. The program will connect you with those working in the Indian market. You will meet business owners, entrepreneurs, business analysts, and most important, you will have an opportunity to meet and interact with those who are leading the flagship programs of the government. My colleague Nagaraj Naidu will speak to you more about these programs and why you should be looking at these programs while entering the Indian economy. The IFP will therefore give you a first-hand exposure to the Indian market. There is no better way of knowing the market than actually coming to India and meeting those who are in India. So friends, I would again like to welcome you to this program. We hope that through the program, we connect you with all the stakeholders that are important, opinion makers, and it will give you the information, the knowledge, the tools with which you can make an informed decision about the market, potential, and how to do business. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rao, for that detailed overview of NDA and the India Fellows Program, the thinking process behind this, and all the initiatives of the government to engage with overseas Indian diaspora. What we'll do, friends, now is play you a short video of Additional Secretary Mr. Mule. Mr. Mule had recorded this message specifically for this webinar. So let's hear from Mr. Mule.
The program includes a 12-day residential classroom session in India and an opportunity to meet senior government officials, policymakers, women experts, capitals of the Indian industry. You can also familiarize yourself with flagship programs such as Make in India, Digital India, and Startup India. Come on and join this exciting.
Thank you, friends. Now, those of you who have participated in the earlier webinars would have heard Mr. Nagaraj Naidu speak. Like I said at the beginning, he's somebody who has an excellent overview of the Indian economy, and he can present you an insider's perspective of the initiatives being taken by the government, the flagship programs of the government, and some of the key changes that are either being planned, some in the process of being rolled out, and some of which have already been rolled out, the impact of which is beginning to be felt, not just in India, but in some of the markets across the world. So, Mr. Naidu, over to you.
For me to connect with you today, I think some of my colleagues previously, they have put across as to why you should look at this program. My attempt would be to kind of give you an overview of the exciting times that we, both as policymakers, find ourselves today, as well as a broad appeal that we would like to make the Indian diaspora to look at their homeland and come and contribute to what they think will take this country into the 21st century. The importance of the diaspora, I presume, for the first time was made very clear when the Prime Minister spoke in the United States in New York. And since then, to every country that he's visited, one program that has always been consistent is his appeal to the diaspora to look back at India and contribute to its development. For the last 2 years, if all of you have been following what's been happening in India, the one consistent thing that everyone would have noticed is change. Change, reform, change. I think this has become today the mantra of almost every department of the country. To just take you through some of the broad highlights of what's been happening in the last few years, I'll give you broad examples, and then I would like you all to ponder on it and see how best can you, who have linkages to this country, can come back and contribute. Let me give an example. Always in the past, at least in my childhood days, there was a problem of certification. Nobody knew whichever department you had gone to or knocked the door on. You always had to prove who you are, where you come from, because there was not one single document that could actually prove your identity. Today, for the first time, what we have is an Aadhaar card, which is India's national identity card. Can you imagine 1 billion people in this country today having retina scan, fingerprint scan, and have an ID for themselves, which enables them access to almost all public departments. This is transformation. There is no country with 1 billion people having retina scan, finger scan, fingerprint scan, ID cards. This opens up all kinds of possibilities. Today, the kind of database that we have enables the government to target programs to the poorest in the community. This is transformation. Nobody expected this thing to happen. What the government has done is to link the national ID card with the beneficiary's mobile phone and what we all tout as the world's largest financial inclusion program called the Jan Dhan program. This is a triumvirate. Put together, it's called the JAM program, J-A-M, Jan Dhan, Aadhaar and Mobile. This is going to take India into the 21st century. This is an example which I would like all of you to think of. It takes digitization to the village level. To support this entire endeavor, we are having a national broadband network being made across the country as we speak today. To back up the digital program, the government is coming up with something called the 24/7 electrification program. I don't know if all of you have downloaded this app. There is a great app that has been developed by and if you click on this app, it will tell you as of today how many villages have been electrified. We want 100% rural electrification achieved by 2018. Out of the target of 18,542, over 8,000 villages have already been electrified. This is highly significant in a country where 250 million people still don't have access to electricity. But today, sitting in our houses, I think all of us can monitor the progress. This is transformational. And this is what makes India very exciting for policymakers, people who are trying, particularly in the field of trying to bring change to the poorest or somebody who's as of now located at the bottom of the pyramid. Apart from focusing on the rural side, the government is also aware that today in India we have a very young population. 60% of our population covers between the age groups of 25 to 45. Look at that. This is the age group that's going to drive consumption in this country. This is the age group that has aspirations to own a home, to own a vehicle, and to also to desire better things in life. They would like to travel. So this component of almost 600 to 800 million people, they are going to drive India's economic growth for the next 20 to 30 years. This is an opportunity that the whole world is looking at. Apart from, and to support the aspirations of these young youth, the government has come up with something called as the Startup India program. If you look at the development of the world startup industry, today India ranks as the number 3 country in the world where the largest number of startups have been growing up. At the same time, to support the rural entrepreneur or the entrepreneur who does not have access to good credit facilities, the government has announced a great program called the Mudra program. I don't know, all of you know that in India, there are about 57.7 billion SMEs. These are extremely small enterprises, but they are supporting, they provide work, employment to about 120 million people. For these enterprises to really look forward to, the government has come up with a scheme called Mudra program, which is fantastic. It actually provides credit facilities to the small entrepreneur. So this government is actually looking at almost every section of the Indian economy going forward. At the same time, all of you who have noticed through the last 2 years, the government has been also trying to make, focusing on the ease of doing business, trying to make India an attractive destination for FDI. If any of you have been noticing India's rankings globally across a number of indicators, we have been growing extremely well. For instance, World Bank, we are at about 130 in the ease of doing business. But let me tell you, we have just in the month of May passed 2 significant acts. One relates to bankruptcy and 2 relates to the national IPR policy. We are very hopeful that we will now probably rank in the 120s in the next few months with the World Bank companies study. On the World Competitiveness Index, India ranks 55. This is a jump of 16 ranks. In the Profitability Index, India ranks number 1. When you say profitability, it means that multinational corporations are much more confident of achieving their ROIs in India than in any other country. Significantly, a lot of movement has happened. India today has received $55.45 billion in foreign direct investment in the last 1 year, a jump of almost 23% over what we got in 2014-15. All of this kind of tells us that, look, this is a country which is today moving at a much faster pace compared to the global average. If you see, globally, there are very few economies of the size of India that are targeting growing at over 7%. Our goal is to reach some at the 8s and the 9s and then get into the double digits. It's possible if all of us can come together. All of you over there are extremely smart, you're talented. This is the time for you to come back, look at your country, see what you could do and contribute, and help us take India into the 21st century. Thanks so much. Pleasure for me to connect with you today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Naidu, for that very extensive and detailed overview of what is happening in the government, some of the key programs, and the very exciting picture that you portrayed. May I now invite the ISB team to talk about the details of the India Fellows Program. We have with us Geeta Krishnan, who's the director of the Center for Executive Education, and we have Soumya Shashidhara, who's the associate director at ISB. So, Geeta, may I hand over to you, please?
Thank you, Sabyasachi. Hello, everybody. Let me spend a few minutes talking to you about the Indian School of Business as an organization, and subsequently I'll spend a few minutes talking about the program and its specifics as well. Apurva, can we have the next slide, please? Some of you may have heard of the ISB. It's one of the younger business schools among the globally ranked business schools today. The school started only about 15 years ago. However, in these 15 years, we have made significant strides to become a truly world-class institution. We are, and testimony to that is the recognition that we got through the Financial Times rankings, which is one of the leading rankings for business schools across the world. We're the youngest institution to be ever ranked in the top global MBA ratings of the Financial Times. This is a multidisciplinary rating, which takes into account the teaching quality of the school, the research atmosphere, the student quality, and the success of the students subsequent to their graduation from the school. From a process perspective, those of you who are familiar with the CMM and the CMM5 and the CMMI, the AACSB accreditation is the business school equivalent of the CMM, and we are pleased to note that we're the first institution in South Asia to achieve this accreditation. And many schools in India, in fact, followed suit after we worked through this process, because this is a way in which we can tighten our processes, ensure consistency of quality, and therefore consistency of outputs. In terms of executive education, which is the arm of the school that deals with programs for entrepreneurs such as you and for corporate executives, we are the leading executive education provider in Asia. We do about 150 programs every year, catering to a wide variety of audiences across entrepreneurship and across all level sectors of industry. And like I said, we're 15 years old. We have 2 campuses. However, we operate under a philosophy of one school, 2 campuses. In other words, we do not have a separate portfolio for each campus, and all programs are offered equally across both the campuses. Even the India Fellows program, as you will hear later from Soumya, will be conducted across both the campuses. Next slide, please, Apurva. Yes, so while we've been 15 years old, what we have done is kind of leveraged on the experience of schools which have been around. For instance, Wharton, which has been around ever since management education was launched. Wharton launched the first MBA way back in the 1880s. So Wharton and Kellogg have been our founding associate schools. Kellogg is another school that needs no introduction in business education. So these founding associate schools have been working with us right from the time our school started, helping us identify faculty, helping us design programs, coming and teaching in our programs themselves, and arranging joint programs between them and us for some of our international programs. Connected to these schools, we also have associate school partnerships with the London Business School, which is the leading business school in the UK, as also with the MIT Sloan Management School, which is particularly specialized in manufacturing and infrastructure, and with the Fletcher School of Public Policy, which is the leading light in public policy education in the world. So enabling us to reach heights that we could have taken a lot longer to reach is how we leverage these partner schools, and what they have got in return is access to the Indian market and joint research with our faculty in issues concerning India and emerging markets. That in sum is ISB for you. And if you can move to the next slide, Apurva. Specific to the program, Mrs. Rao touched on that, Mr. Naidu touched on that. Let me kind of structure it around a few pillars that we've designed the program around. To begin with, this program is an experiential program. That is to say, it is not just an academic program where you will be listening to faculty teaching in classes. You will also be experiencing India, experiencing business in India, experiencing the consumer in India, and experiencing what it means to set up business in India. And Samya will talk about the specifics of this as we go forward. The program will be driven by ISB's world-class faculty, and this is one of the essential elements for the success of any business school, as you can imagine. And the way ISB approaches its faculty network is that we have a core pool of faculty who work full-time within ISB, within the campus of ISB, but we also have a huge network of independent faculty who come in and teach with us on a visiting faculty capacity. These are faculty who are affiliated to the best business schools across the world, not just our partner schools of Wharton, Kellogg, LBS, and otherwise, but also with a whole range of business schools. And we pick and choose the right faculty depending on the nature of the program and the nature of the audience requirement. And so that's something that you will experience as you go through the faculty who will be teaching in this program. Mrs. Rao touched on that. We will be using technology to ensure that this program is a year-long engagement. So while you will be coming in for the India residency, which is a 10-12 day window between the two campuses and Delhi, we will be engaging with you through the year using online tools like Hangouts, like the GoTo tool that we're using today, and so on and so forth. Part of the experience of the program will be networking with entrepreneurs and interacting with policymakers. And we believe these are two important pillars, because when you network with entrepreneurs, you kind of get a first-hand understanding and an experiential feel of what it means to run business, what are the hurdles they have gone through, what are the experiences they've had, and what have been some elements of success that have driven them into their entrepreneurial endeavors. So you will be networking with entrepreneurs across different networks. Interaction with policymakers is important because from your perspective, you may want to understand what it means to work with the bureaucracy in India, what it means. I mean, for instance, you talk about Make in India, you talk about Digital India. What do these endeavors mean, and how can they be of help for you in terms of setting up your business opportunities in India? So those are the 6 pillars you would meet with. In sum, what you would get to do by attending this program is learn what it means to do business in India, meet people who will be important stakeholders for you as you run your business in India, and experience what India and the Indian business world is all about. So that's essentially what the program is about. Now I'll hand the mic over to Soumya so she can run you through the details of the program. Thank you very much, and look forward to welcoming you to the program.
Thank you, Geeta. Now I'll take you briefly on what you will be experiencing at the program. One of the elements is that it is going to be a year-long engagement. This we will start in the first month of the program, that is in August, where we will, it is an introductory session, context setting, and soon after that, all the participants will be coming to India for what we call the India Residency. This will be where the bulk of the interaction, which I will talk in detail, will happen. And then post this, we will be having about 9 webinars, or as a masterclass or as an entrepreneur speak, and some of the titles that are already listed here for your understanding. Typically, these webinars will be held on second Saturday of every month and for a duration of 2 hours. And exact time will be decided once we have a better understanding of the geographical distribution of our participants. Coming to India Residency, this is a 12-day immersion program in India. 10 days will be spent in our campuses in Hyderabad and Mohali, and 2 days in Delhi. This segment will have 3 kinds of activities that each one of you will undertake. One is the learn piece, which is primarily the classroom sessions, which will be the building blocks for your understanding of the next 2 experiences that you will have. The second one is meet, where you'll be meeting the government senior officials, people from the private sector, established professionals, and also the startup environment. And third is the experience, where you will be going out and getting the feel of the markets for you to like start forming your products and business plans. And we'll be focusing on 3 topics. One is understanding India markets, 2 is innovating in India, and 3rd is launching and growing entrepreneurial ventures in India. And as you can see in the dates, you will be first coming to Hyderabad, where we'll be starting our classes. We'll spend about 4 days. Then we will move to Delhi, where we'll be spending 2 days interacting mostly with senior government officials, and then we come to Mohali for the rest of the duration of the program. Next slide, please. And this is the tentative schedule, which we will share a little later for you to go through. Coming to the faculty who will be teaching at the program, we have Dr. Amirullah Khan, a leading development economist and visiting faculty of economics at the Indian School of Business. He will take the participants through the Indian economy and the sectoral trends as we stand today. And then we have Boris Munshi, who is a leading innovator. He studied innovation in emerging markets very extensively, and then he has also helped multiple organizations think through their processes, strategy for breakthrough innovations, and he will be the one talking to you about the realities of innovating in India. And we have Professor Vishchan Kamdar, a very senior faculty at the Indian School of Business and an expert in negotiation, and also an award-winning faculty here, who will be talking to the participants and taking you through a days-long workshop on negotiations in India. And then we have Tej Pawan Ganto, who himself is a serial entrepreneur and now what he calls himself a academician, a practitioner who's also an academic. I think profile best suited to talk to aspiring and existing entrepreneurs about different and various models of entrepreneurial ventures, which can be adapted and used for businesses in India. Next slide, please. The next segment will be the meet segment, where this is primarily in Delhi. Thanks to OFC, we have been able to put this exciting lineup together. We'll be meeting Mr. Amar Sinha from Ministry of External Affairs, Mr. Amitabh Kant, who was the person who launched the Make in India in his previous responsibilities and currently CEO of Niti Aayog. Dr. Ajay Kumar, he is the person who's leading the Digital India Initiative. Mr. Ramesh Abhishek, who is leading the Make in India Initiative at this point, and of course Mr. Moole, who you already heard a while ago. You'll also be interacting with him. Next, please. while we have covered what we will do interacting with the government, I think there is this whole exciting piece about the ecosystem, the startup ecosystem that's growing in India. You have an opportunity to interact with them at the T Hub, which is the technology startup ecosystem created by the Telangana government based in Hyderabad. And then we'll also be inviting a host of investors from the angel investors and CII young Indians, mostly entrepreneurs, who you can interact with to not only understand their views on doing business in India, but also possibly to explore partnership, etc. And of course, you go through a series of mixers and networking dinner while here on campus, which will lead to many introductions to you. Next, please. The third segment is the experience, where seeing is believing. That is the philosophy behind this part. You would have learned the basic the building blocks in the classroom, and then met a host of people, and then now you'll be taken to experience the village, the urban poor environment, bottom of the pyramid. But these are all not going to be merely visits. These are going to be in a way of having to evaluate it in terms of opportunities. So that is where the difference will be. You will also be taken to multinational corporate offices which have made home in India and have successfully running, and also the semiconductor and aerospace cluster at Hyderabad, which is very successful, and also a healthcare organization that has redefined healthcare delivery through their innovative approach. So these are some of the experiential visits that you will be doing while you are in India. Next, please. That was a snapshot of what you will experience, but here is the admission process that we will be following for this program. As some of you may know, we have been we are at the fag end of the admission process, and then we are going to be taking a class of 25 this year, and then we are looking at about 20-25 days of admission process, and we have already offered we have already sent out offer letters, and we are receiving acceptances, so we do not have 25 seats anymore. The eligibility, of course, would be that you have to be a part of the Indian diaspora. That would mean you are either an NRI or a PIO, or somebody who have some parentage of Indian origin. So we are looking at two kinds of people: entrepreneurs who already run their own business or evaluating to open their business, or entrepreneurs who are working for big corporations but are responsible for business development or international business development. And of course, the common thread would be that you are looking to India to see what are the exciting opportunities, how you can develop India as a market, or how you can develop India as a supply, as a place to source things. So this will be your eligibility criteria broadly. This is the first year that we'll be running the program, so therefore we will be offering this at 5,000 USD per participant price. This is all-inclusive price, which is inclusive of board, lodge, program-related learning material while you're on campus, and also for the content of the webinars. But however, this does not include travel to India for the Indian residency, and also travel between Hyderabad and Delhi while you are in the India residency. The last day to apply to the program is 24th of July, and then my colleague Apura will be sending you all the details in an email, along with the application form for those of you who want to apply to the program after the info session. Thank you very much. Next slide, please. So these are contact details of myself and Apurva, and I think we will throw the floor open to questions. Sabya, over to you, please.
Thank you very much, Geeta and Soumya. I should have introduced my colleagues here as well, which I missed. Apurva, Shreya, and Ankita here with us. So, like Soumya said, the floor is open for questions. We see only one question as of now from Srikanth Sharma. Can you share the link to the app, please? Srikanth, we will email the link to you. We'll keep this open for about 5 minutes for questions, depending on if there are questions at all. We'd of course love to have questions. Srikanth, if you can type in your question, that would help. We can read out your question and answer that. All the participants, in answer to Srikanth's questions, all the participants request you to type in your questions and we'll answer your questions. We're reading the questions live. Okay, Srikanth's question, do you have a UK contact to speak to or go meet and discuss? Srikanth, if you drop us an email, the email IDs are given in the slide on your screen. We will be happy to set up a call and call you and do a one-on-one call with you to walk you through the entire process and answer your questions. Question from Vikas Talwar. What is the degree diploma we will receive at the end of the course, and what may be the business opportunities that one may look at? May I request Geeta and Soumya to answer that question, please?
Hi, this is Geeta. So this program is an executive program. It's a short duration program. So it's not a degree or a diploma program. All participants will be getting an India Fellows certificate and they would be allowed to call themselves India Fellows. So that's the certificate and status that you will get. In terms of business opportunities, of course, it depends on the business that you are in, but you will be meeting entrepreneurs from a whole range of businesses in India, and depending on how your conversations with them go, the business opportunity should emerge from those discussions.
Thank you, Geeta. The next question is from Sunil Raheja. I'm also based in London. Can I speak to the UK contact as well? Sunil, same response for you. Do drop us an email. Our email IDs are available on your screen right now. I'll read them out to you. It's Soumya, SOWMYA _SHISHIDHARA @isp.edu and Apurva APOORVA .sharma @cii.in. Drop us an email and we will be very happy to set up a call and call you and answer all your questions. Next question is from Meera Sunecha. I'm the Executive Officer of Conservative Friends of India. We would be interested in advertising this to our members. Do you have a special rate for people that cannot afford the 5,000 plus flights? Is there a reduced rate? Also, is there any further way we could be involved as the governing body of the US? Meera, let me answer the first part of the question here, which is do we have a special rate for people that cannot afford the 5,000 plus flights? At the Ministry of External Affairs and at YFC, we went through a very rigorous selection process with several management institutes to look at the entire scope of the program, the delivery, and the cost. And believe me, we did benchmarking not just in India, but with institutes across the world. This is the cheapest program available among the better institutes anywhere in the world. So, ISB is pulling out all stops to make it work. They're getting in their best faculty for this, and this is being done at like both Geeta and Soumya mentioned. This is this is the bare minimum. They would obviously like to charge more, justifiably so, which they do for some of their other programs as well. But not possible to reduce costs any further without compromising on quality, and we would not like to do that. The second part of the question, Meera, again, can I request you to drop us an email? We would like to take that offline and discuss this with you one-on-one. So you drop us an email, drop an email to apurva.sharma@ci.in, and we will connect with you on that. The next question is, can you please email us all the slides and the synopsis of today's discussion? That's from Bhairavi. Bhairavi, yes, all of that, all of the slides and the synopsis of today's discussion will be emailed to you. Meera, yes, the next question, yes, we've noted United Kingdom and not the United States. Yes, how can we forget after the Brexit vote? Any further questions? Okay, Sunil Vaheja, I'm interested in the program, but this year maybe too soon for me. When will you open up for 2017? Sunil, we will draw up the calendar for 2017 once we close the applications for this particular program. So stay in touch with us. Our website will have details, and you also have our contact details. So stay in touch, and we will let you know when the next cycle is rolled out. Ajay Gandhi, can I have the slide decks of the speakers from OIFC so that I can have comprehensive view of the objectives of the program and the continued role of OIFC post the program? Yes, Ajay, we will email the slide deck to you. Bhairavi Tartas joined late, he missed some content. Bhairavi, do drop us an email. We'd be happy to walk you through the entire presentation one-on-one. So drop an email to apurva.sharma@ci.in. Any further questions? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your participation in today's webinar, and let this not stop all your questions. Our contact details are up there. Please feel free to reach out to us. Maybe you'll find us quick with our responses. We would love to hear from you, and look forward to your suggestions and questions. Thank you very much, and have a good day. Bye.